Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, Edison International, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Kern High School District, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and Valley Strong Credit Union, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Clark. For math homework help, call 636-4357. Everywhere else, 1-866-636-6284. Our email is dothemath@kern.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net. And we're on social media.
All right, nicely done, Clark Kent. And where do you go to school?
I go to Van Horn.
And you're in what grade?
6th.
All right, how was 6th grade?
Fun. I'm liking it so far.
Good. Is there anything that you have found difficult in 6th grade so far?
No, not yet.
Okay, so it's been going pretty smoothly for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you think you're going to miss? Because how long have you been at Van Horn School?
Only for like 3 years.
Okay, but you've been there for a few years, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be anything, because you can't go there next year, right? You have to go to a new school next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you think you'll miss about Van Horn?
I think I'm probably going to end up missing like my old teachers and stuff like that.
Okay, good. Well, is there anything that you anticipate, anything that you're looking forward to in junior high school?
I'm looking for the fact that there's multiple classes in junior high. So
Okay.
I'm going to be looking forward that I'm able to do multiple things in one day.
So you like the idea of going to a different classroom for a different subject?
Yes.
Are there any extracurricular activities that you'll be doing in junior high? Like sports, student government, what are they, electives that you
Yeah.
take in junior high school?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's electives.
Have you
but
looked at any of that stuff yet, or not yet?
No, not yet, but I'm hoping there's like violin and chorus.
Oh, well, you know what? There's going to be band and chorus, orchestra, and stuff like that. So, Cindy, you were at Warren.
Yes.
And what are some of the electives that students can take in?
Oh gosh, they have a lot more this year. So they can take Spanish, they can take theater, they can take art, choir, the musics.
Orchestra.
Yeah. Those have been there.
All right,
Still
good.
will be.
Well, I didn't know that.
And then there's, some other,
but
there's
theater's
a
a thing.
career,
Oh,
college
okay.
and career, that's a
Career
new one.
planning stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so they learn
Alright.
it. Well, it's called, I think colleges and career, I think is what it's called, but they learn about different careers and it's not just necessarily college-based ones. So.
Okay. So have you thought about a career yet? I know you're only in 6th grade, but it's never too early to start.
I'm leaning towards maybe like a doctor or being an engineer, or maybe if I'm lucky, work at NASA.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you don't have to be lucky. You just have to be dedicated and you get yourself into NASA. Here's the deal. You and I are going to make a deal right now, young man. You go to work for NASA. You must come back here or you must be on the show and talk to us about what you're doing at NASA.
All right.
Deal?
Deal.
All right. We shook on it and it is forever taped right there. All right. So, before we get going with a lot of other things, I need you to help me with our social media problem today. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at it together right now. So it says solve the following proportion. So proportions are when we have ratios and we set them equal to each other. All right, so you can see that we have x over 6 is equal to 15 over 18. So what do you notice about that problem? What comes to mind when you look at that?
I'm noticing that 18 is like a multiple, or like a multiple of 6.
It
so
is, good.
That x has probably going to be a factor of 15, I'm thinking.
Good, and I'm liking the way you're using the vocabulary because you're saying that 18 is a multiple of 6 and you're looking for a factor of 15. So nicely done. So we've got some options down there. Or any of those things that you see, you're like, there's no possible way it could be this.
Yeah. I know that D can't be 1 because 12 isn't a multiple of 15, and I'm thinking probably not C as well.
Okay, and why not C?
Even though you can use 1 to get to 15, you have to you have to do 6 times 3 to get 18, and since we're probably gonna have to do the x times 3 to get 15 as well, it can't be 1 because that just equal 3 and not
Correct.
15.
All right, so we're down to A and B.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it's B because A is 3 over 6, and since 3 times 3 is 9, it doesn't equal 15. But since B is 5 times 3 is 15.
Okay, and see if this makes sense to you, because there are some students going, I don't understand how you do how you're multiplying the denominator and then have to do the same thing to the numerator. But if we look at A, 3 over 6 is 1/2.
Yes.
Is 15 over 18 1/2?
15 over 18, no, that is
No,
not
so
1/2.
so you can kind of reason like that, right?
Yeah.
One is half, the other is way more than a half, right? So if we take a look at 5 6, that's almost the whole thing, and 15 18ths is almost the whole thing, and that way they are equivalent, aren't they? So you can go with B.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look and see
I'm
if
confident that it's
B
B.
is correct. You're confident. Confidence pays off that time, brother. B is the correct answer. 636-4357 is that phone number. We do have phone tutors most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. And this show is not only for students. There are a lot of parents that phone in to do the math also. They also like to know some different ways that they can help their student, because a lot of times students are involved in after-school activities and don't always have the opportunity to phone into us during those times. So parents, you're more than welcome to give us a call also, and if we can indeed help you, we certainly will. Time now for today's Math in the News. And in studio with us right now, we've got Rafael. How are you?
I'm doing good. Mike, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. And Rafael, you are with the Kern County Superintendent of Schools office.
That is correct.
But you've got a unique position. It's not like you work at Do the Math or something. So what is your position with the county office?
I do not work at Do the Math, but I'm doing math all day long.
Which is why you're here.
All of the time. So I am the Director of Food and Nutrition Services for the Kern County Superintendent of Schools.
So if there are students being serviced by KCSOS and they need lunch or something like that, you are providing that food for them.
Yes, so we have quite a widespread locations throughout the Kern County, right? So we go all the way as far north as Delano and as far east as Boron within the Kern County. And so we have special education sites, we have alternative education sites, child care centers. We partner with after-school programs to provide dinners at those programs.
Okay.
And then any district that may need some support with meal services, we will help and provide that support.
So if there's a meeting or something going on and they need food at this meeting, you're the one that's going to be fixing that all up.
Exactly. That is also another program that we handle as a Food and Nutrition Services Department. We have a very robust catering services within the Kern County Superintendent of Schools Food and Nutrition Services. So.
And you're also involved with the Blue Zones project.
I am, yes.
So talk to us a little bit about that, because I know there are some people kind of familiar with that right now, but I know that you guys had a competition at the fair recently. But an overview of the Blue Zones project first.
Yeah, no, the Blue Zones project has been a tremendously great thing for us here in Bakersfield. So we have a Blue Zones project Bakersfield. That's what they're doing is they're bringing us together. They're bringing organizations together that have common goals of enhancing student and community wellness through different avenues, not just food, but also the way we go about planning the city, developing and enhancing the parks that we have available for children. And then for me specifically, or more directly, how I'm involved with the Blue Zones project is getting our schools to incorporate some more plant-based foods, right? We're not necessarily talking about doing away with all of the animal products or completely going vegan or vegetarian, but just incorporating some more fresh vegetables and ingredients that are plant-based, which there are a lot of nutritional benefits to doing so. And again, not completely going away, but just incorporating that into your diet.
Right, because I know there's a lot of students that have different allergies to things like that, and if it's more plant-based and other alternatives, it would be better overall for their health doing that.
Yes.
Now, when you guys did the competition at the fair, and we just saw some photos of that, do you come up with a dish, or are you working with the other students to come up with that?
So for this first inaugural chopped competition that we did at the fair with the support of the Blue Zones Project, it was a list of ingredients that we had in advance.
Okay.
And then we had to develop a dish that was solely plant-based. So there was no animal products in that dish. And so we had quite a bit of list of items that we could use. And then the day of, they unveiled some secret ingredients that we had to incorporate into our dish.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, so I didn't have the time to collaborate with my student sous chef, but it didn't change how great she did.
And
yeah.
how did you guys do? You guys did well at the competition?
I think we did great. I think we did great. And in fact, I was super blown away by the talent that I saw in all of the competitors, not only nutritional leaders throughout the county that competed, but also the student sous chefs that we had. We partnered with Kern High School District to provide us sous chefs, high school students interested in culinary or already in a culinary program.
Yeah, because I can imagine that if a student was like, I'm not interested in that, or, but then they see this and they're like, well, that looks pretty good. I might want to do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I see that you've got some samples of food in here and some of the basics, right? People are pretty familiar with the peppers and the cauliflower and tomatoes and stuff like that. But you've got some other things, because I noticed that one of the things is you've got pasta, but it's chickpea pasta.
Yes.
So what are some benefits of that type of pasta?
So I will tell you, for me personally, I've been eating just pretty much whatever I get my hands on, right? I've never been a picky eater. And
Hey, you know what? That's pretty good. The old man does that too sometimes. Like, oh, I get that food like that.
Exactly. Whatever you get your hands on, and as a cook, you want to try all your ingredients, right, as you're cooking, to make sure that the taste develops correctly, or the way you want it. However, what I've started to realize is that I can't handle regular pasta or bread anymore, right? And I'm coming to realize that it may be the gluten or may be other ingredients that are found in the pasta, but ever since I've tried using the plant-based pasta and been eating it, I feel a lot different after eating it, right? And so again, I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. I do consume a steak here and there,
right.
But I have incorporated ingredients like this chickpea pasta into my diet, and it really has made a difference.
Yeah, well, garbanzo beans is what they're using, right?
Very high in protein, and again, it's a vegan pasta. It's gluten-free. You mentioned there's a lot of students that have gluten intolerances, and so this pasta is a great alternative to the regular flours that are used usually.
And as far as gluten and stuff, that takes care of part of that right there. But also, some kids have problem with dairy.
Yes.
And that's kind of where this plant-based milk would come in, correct?
Exactly. So this Ripple pea plant also based pea plant protein milk has been a great alternative to the regular milk. For many years, we used to have to use different types of almond or soy milk alternatives because some children had lactose intolerances or others had soy intolerances. So we couldn't use the soy for the soy intolerant student or the lactate for the non-dairy student. So Ripple came along, pea plant based milk, which is nutritionally equivalent to the regular milk. And again, it has no soy, it's not dairy, so one milk takes care of pretty much all of the non-dairy or lactose intolerant students.
And how do you come up with the recipes? Because you've got a lot of different people you need to serve and a lot of different things. So how do you come up with the recipes?
So I attribute that gift and that teaching to my mom.
Okay.
My mom was incredible. She could open up the refrigerator. We saw nothing in there, but she can go in there and whip up something up, right? And so, my program relies heavily on what's available, right? We do plan menus, but my program specifically relies very heavily on what's available. And so there's a lot of times that I have to be very creative with what I put on the menu. I mean, we have a very tight budget that we have to work within. And so it's just creativity. It's just creativity. There are meal patterns that we have to follow in school nutrition, so that just further makes the challenge just a little bit more to make a creative meal that is going to be appetizing and still be within the nutritional requirements that.
I've got a little something for you here, brother, all right? So the garbanzo beans.
Yes.
All right. Do you like spice?
I love spicy.
All right, so cayenne pepper, you'd go with that?
Oh, yeah.
Capsaicin's good for us, right? Especially, old men, capsaicin's good, right? So you take the chickpeas, you rinse them, you put them in a bit of olive oil, you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of pepper, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of salt, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little bit of garlic, and you put them in a little b get some cayenne pepper mix in there, and then just roast them. And then you just eat those things like candy after that. That stuff's good for you right there.
Oh, yeah.
You gonna try that?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try one of your recipes too. You know what, as a matter of fact, you come up here anytime you want with any food like that. You bring it right up here, we'll be more than happy to sample that.
I would be happy to.
Rafael, thank you for
so much
taking
for
some
having
time
me.
to come and visit us here on Do the Math and talk a little bit more about the Blue Zones, that project, and a little different style of eating right there. So thank you very much for that. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Scott. We're going to do a little bit of math today, of course, on Do the Math. Interesting problem for you today, one of my favorites that I like to have my students think a little bit, use your brain, and here's how it goes. This is kind of a logical problem, but it's also one you can kind of mess around with and maybe give your friends a hard time. Draw a picture like this. And here is the goal. Your goal is to put the numbers 1 through 8. In fact, I like to draw them all out here. In these 8 boxes. Sounds like a pretty easy task. Of course, there's a rule to it. The rule is that no 2 consecutive numbers can touch each other. What that means is consecutive numbers in a row, like 4 and 5, they cannot touch side to side, up and down, or diagonal. Okay, so we're gonna give this a shot real quick and see kind of what happens. Let's say we start with a 1 over here. We got that one all done. Now a 2 cannot go in these 3 boxes, right? So I'm gonna put the 2 over here. Now a 3 can't go here, 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 here. Oh, that's not gonna work. So 2 can't go there. I'm gonna go backwards on that one. Let's put the 2 all the way over here so we don't have to worry about that. The 3 now can't go in any of these boxes because that would touch side to side, diagonal, diagonal. So maybe we'll put a 3 up here. So far, so good. Think about now, logically, where the 4 can go. Can the 4 go here? No. Can the 4 go here? No, because it would touch here. 4 can't go here, let's put it down here. 5 can't go in these spots, 5 here. 6 can't go in these spots, gotta go here, and now we're in big trouble because the only spots left are 7 and 8, and you have a problem here and a problem here. I'm gonna give you a second. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, happen to be watching this on video, pause it right now, try the problem a couple times, and come back and see if you can figure out what's going on. I'm gonna see if I can give you a couple hints about maybe how to go about this. Maybe a full answer, maybe not. When I look at a problem like this, I'm looking for a couple unique characteristics. We'll see if we can find some unique characteristics. If I look at these numbers, every number in this list has 2 consecutive numbers next to it. So for instance, take the number 4. We have to worry about the number 3 and the number 5. Would you agree? Look at the number 7. We got to worry about where is the 6 and where is the 8, make sure they're not touching. But there are 2 unique numbers in this list that are different than the rest. What are they? Number 1 only has to worry about a 2, and number 8 only has to worry about a number 7. Now we have 2 unique numbers. Let's look on our puzzle. Do we have any unique boxes? Well, there's a couple unique boxes. You can see the ones on the outside, right? These one, like if I looked at this one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, touches 4 of them. The ones over here on the edge touch 1, 2, 3, but the ones in the middle, the boxes in the middle, touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. So we have to worry about a lot more touching if you're looking at the middle 2 boxes than the outside ones. So why don't we take these numbers that are very unique on our list and put them in these boxes, which are very unique in the picture. Now pause and see if you can figure out the puzzle. And when you come back, we can start to fill out the rest of it. The rest of it logically pretty much lines itself up, which is kind of nice. If you look at the number 1, 2 cannot go here, 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 or here. There's only one place the 2 can go. Only one goes way over here. And in fact, the same thing is the case for the number 7, right? 7 can't go in any of these boxes because it would touch 8, so 7's over there. We already have half of the problem done. The other ones will work out very simply as long as you make sure, again, that you follow the rules that you need to. When you do a 3, right, 3 can't go in either one of these, so maybe we'll do a 3 here. And by the way, there are 4 different answers to this problem. The number 4 can't touch the 3 or the 5, so maybe we'll put the 4 down here. 5 can't go here, so it has to go here, and 6 has to go here. Maybe do a couple checks at the end, make sure no other numbers are touching. But this is a really fun puzzle if you want to get some of your friends thinking. It's not impossible, there are quite a few answers. But I think by using some logic at the beginning of the puzzle before you even start, it ends up being not nearly as hard. At least not to me anyway. Give it a shot.
Great little problem right there. And Ken has raised like, oh, that's a nice problem. So you, as I hear the little echo background right there. Anyway, hopefully that'll go away, but anyway. So, problem right now. So head on over to the board with Cindy. And it says, arrange the 20 cubes. So the little colored ones are the 20. You have to use those clues though. All the piles contain an even number of cubes. So you have 4 different piles you're going to be putting them in. There are twice as many in the first pile as is in the second pile. The largest number is in the first pile. All piles have a different number of cubes. Each pile has at least 1 cube. So talk about it with Cindy and see what you like to do.
So in 4, how would you divide 20 in 4 ways? So I think first like put 5 in each one, but it says all piles contain an even number of cubes. So I'm thinking maybe like 8 here, 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. Oh, wait a minute. All piles have a different number of cubes. So I'm gonna stick with 8 here, and since it's half, 4.
So try moving them first and see, so you can start getting them out of the way.
So you're gonna move 8 there.
8 there. I'm just gonna
All right.
8 here, since there has to be half in the second pile.
Maybe go around the top.
Where'd it go?
What happened?
Wait, here. Does this go back?
Just
So you can just
Okay,
write
there
on
it
the
is.
board. So just draw them in.
okay.
Okay, so 4 there. So there's twice as many there than there is there. Maybe cross off 4 here, so you know how many you have left. Okay.
And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since they all have to be even, and they all have a different number, I'm thinking maybe just like 2 here, and then 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay,
There's
so let's
8
check
here.
if it meets all the.
All piles contain an even number of cubes. 8, 4, 2, and 6.
Okay.
There are twice as many cubes in the first pile as there in the second pile. There's 8 here and there's 4 here, so that checks out. Largest number of cubes is in the first pile. 8, 4, 2, 6. All piles have a different number of cubes. We already took that one.
Right.
And each pile has at least 1 cube, and I think they all have cubes.
Yeah. So that looks like it meets all the qualifications it needs to meet.
Oh, nicely done. So you did it in the time constraint also. So as I said, you had about 3 minutes to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you said you were pretty confident you were going to be able to do that. So you did it in the 3 minutes. That's a pretty sweet problem, don't you think?
Yeah, that's fun. I'd like to do that again.
Good.
Some
Well, I'm
other
glad
time.
you like
Maybe
to
a
do that.
different
And
version.
since it was a sweet problem, you got yourself a Sweet Fix, an ice cream courtesy of our friends at Sweet Fix Creamery. And they just came out with new flavors. So every month they come out with new flavors. So in October, they came out with one like a caramel apple. They've got some pumpkin different flavors. And
That'd be nice.
kind of for Halloween, they've got one black licorice. Have you ever had that kind of ice cream?
No, I have
Well, if you
never.
go by during October, you can maybe sample that, and who knows, maybe you get yourself that kind of ice cream, all right?
Yeah.
All right, nicely done. 636-4357 is that phone number. We'll be back with more right after this.
What happens to old satellites? Typically, satellites, if they run out of fuel or something happens to it where it's just not working, it is essentially orbiting around the Earth dead. So what happens eventually is gravity will continuously pull on it and bring it down. If that satellite, upon re-entering into the atmosphere, does not burn up, sometimes you'll find pieces of that structure on one of our large continents or in the ocean. We don't want that to happen. So if a spacecraft ran out of fuel or has a bad part, it'd be great if we could fix it. That's why NASA is working on in-space servicing, assembly, and manufacturing capabilities. OSAM-1, On-Orbit Service and Assembly and Manufacturing Mission 1, is coming to you very soon. There are capabilities and technologies that will allow us to sustain some of our key assets. So if they have a bad instrument or they want to upgrade, we can do that in space. Essentially, that is going to help NASA explore and create missions that are going to improve our capabilities from the moon, Mars, and beyond. So what happens to old satellites? Well, currently, they either burn up upon reentry or they remain in space dead. But all that's going to change with OSAM-1. It's going to be the game changer that is going to help them become sustainable and upgradable for the future.
Well, there you go. Who knows? You might work at NASA one day and you'll be on some of those videos, and that way you can let me know exactly what you're doing, all right?
All right.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right, so you've got a homework problem that I know you're working on. So head on over to the board. I'm going to read you guys all the details so that you guys work on this. So you're planning a Thanksgiving dinner for 15 people. So you guys write any information you think you're going to need.
Go ahead and use your pens.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. The pen will make it a little bit easier. So 15 people. And you have 22.5 pounds of turkey. Now, his daughter forgot to tell him that she was bringing 3 more people. So, you want to feed each person the same amount of turkey that was originally planned. How much more turkey must be purchased to accommodate the additional people?
All right.
And you're going to express your answer to the nearest 10th.
To the nearest 10th?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
just
remember,
one
you
digit
want to
back.
feed the people the same amount of turkey that was originally planned. So originally you had 22.5 pounds of turkey for 15 people. But you have 3 more people, so you need to figure out how much more turkey you're going to need so that they all still get the same as the original amount.
All right. So,
All right, so what you thinking?
So first we need to figure out how many pounds of turkey would go to the 15 people. Let's just not think about the 3 people for now.
Okay. So how much pounds per person, basically?
Yeah, how many
Okay.
pounds for the 15 people? Not the 3 just yet.
All right. So how can we figure that out? What do you think?
I feel like we should probably like divide it.
I think
like,
that's a good start, yeah.
22.5 divided by 15. So we can't take 15 out of 2, but we can take 15 out of 22. There's only 1. 22 minus 15. Carry the 1. Carry the 1. Make this a 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. Then bring down the 5. There are 5 15s and 75, so you put the 5 up here. And then 5 times 15, 75. Then 0. So each person would get 1.5 pounds of turkey.
Okay, so
For the
1.5
15
pounds
people.
of turkey per person. That's
All
a lot
right.
of turkey.
Yes. And then
And then we
John's
have to
pointing
find
at
out.
me like, no way.
We have to find out how much more we need to buy, right,
Alright.
for the 3 extra people. So if we
Alright.
know each one of them is going to get that same
Alright.
amount,
I think the simplest way to do it is just 1.5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Put the 5 down here, put the 1 up there. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 1 is 4. And then I'm assuming we just bring down the decimal. So 4.5 more pounds of turkey needs to be bought.
So 4.5 pounds, you're saying?
4.5 pounds of turkey needs
There you
to be
go.
bought.
Nicely done. 4.5 pounds. You think you need 1.5 pounds of turkey?
Maybe?
I'm sure you could. Anybody could eat 1.5 pounds
You like
of turkey. So put some dressing in there and all that kind of good stuff. All right, nicely done. 636-4357 is that phone number. Right now we have a phone call. And how are you this afternoon? Hello? Nimrod, how are you?
Hello?
Yes. Are you ready to tell us your math problem? I think you have some mixed numbers you need to put in order, is that correct?
It's on the back, John.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So Clark, Kent, you're gonna help work with this, all right? So, all right, so here's the problem we're working on now. So Cindy, maybe just clear the board or just add a page to it.
Wait,
And
sorry.
all the way down at the bottom right. Yeah. There we go, all right. So we have negative 1.8 degrees Celsius. And we have negative 2.1 degrees Celsius. And in between those, we need to put greater than, less than, or equal.
Oh, so we want to compare them?
Correct.
Okay. Have you worked with your negatives at all?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well, that's good. So if it's negative 1.8 versus negative 2.1 degrees Celsius, and we think of like a thermometer, right?
Yeah.
Those are below zero.
Yes, those are below 0.
So we're trying to figure out which one's larger.
Than the other. All right.
So
So
tell me what you know.
I think first to like help explain it, I'm gonna draw like a number line here. Zero. And anything to the left is a negative, so these numbers should be here. So let's just put it here, these two like here for now. And since to the left, it would go like, 0, negative 1, and negative 1.8 comes first, and then negative 2.1. So in here, it seems that negative 1.8 is closer to the 0 than negative 2.1. So I'd say that negative 1.8 Celsius is bigger than negative 2.1 Celsius.
Which makes sense because if you think of temperatures, right?
Yeah.
That's colder because it's more below zero. Yeah. So that's warmer, so that would be a larger value.
There you go, nicely done. So you know what? Nimrod had another problem that they were working on, and we'll just go ahead and clear that, and we're gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way also. Well, maybe just add another page.
Okay.
Here we go. So negative 4 3/4.
4 and wait.
3/4, correct. The next number, negative 3/5. And the final number is negative 1 3/4. And you need to put those in order from least to greatest.
Okay.
Least to greatest.
So we got to figure out which one's the smallest. So your number line would help with that again because these are all negatives.
All right. Since there appears to be no number there, it appears to be less than 1, so I'm assuming the negative 3.5 would be the closest. So, oh, sorry, 3/5.
Yeah, so negative 3/5.
So,
Don't forget your negative on there.
oh. And then the next.
So is
since
that the smallest or
Yeah.
is that the largest?
Negative 3/5 would be the smallest.
But we're in the negatives, right?
Yeah,
So
we're-
remember on the last problem you told me that closer to zero is actually bigger?
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
No, I think you have it in the right place there. I think it's just not going to be the
Oh,
smallest number when you list it. Because it's closer to zero. Let's go ahead and just put them on the number line first, and then we can list them in order.
all right.
So you got your negative 3/5, and then
Sorry.
You're fine.
And if you want to, Clark Kent, you can write the next number on top of the number line instead of underneath it. That way you have some
Yeah.
more room if you'd like.
All right. I think I'm just gonna do this for now. Gonna mess that
So
up.
-4 3/4.
All right.
And so then least to greatest.
Yeah, since technically this would be the least, since I guess you can say since it's closer to the end. First one would be -4 3/4. Then since we only have one more option left, it's just -1 3/4. And there's your answer.
All right, nicely done. Hopefully that helped them right there. And for calling in with that problem, even though we didn't get to speak to you right there due to technical difficulties, you will get yourself a courtesy pass to go to COM. So congratulations on that. 636-4357 is that phone number. You do have an opportunity to call between 3:30 and 5:30, most Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, here we go. You ready for another problem?
Yes.
All right, so you did the first one where you had to figure out the number of pounds per person,
Yes.
right? Based on if we had 15, but then we needed to get turkey for 3 more people. So this is going to be an extension to that problem. So why don't you go ahead, open up a new page over there.
All right. And just put in all the old information.
All right, so we had 15 people at the original, right? Then we had 18 people altogether.
Yeah, we had 3 more. And we already had 15.5 pounds.
Well, it was
We
going
had,
to be 1.5 pounds
person.
per person.
Yeah, it was 1.
That's how much everybody was going to get after we got more turkey. Now, originally, we had 22.5 pounds
that's
of
right.
turkey. So 22.5 pounds of turkey is what we started off with. Okay? So, here's the next question. They realize they don't have time to go get more turkey for the other 3 people. Okay? So we're not going to get the other 4.5 pounds. I know, I would have a little lip on that too, like, God, everybody's not getting all that turkey, right? But since the 18 people evenly divide the turkey that was already purchased, the 22.5 pounds, by what percent is each person's serving reduced?
Okay, so I think we should just go do division again. So 22.5 divided by 18.
Because we need to see how much they're going to get before we can
Yeah.
calculate a percent. Yeah.
Yes. 18. You can't pull 18 out of 2, but you can pull 18 out of 22. 1. It's 18, which is 4 out of 5. You can get, just doing some quick math really
Yeah.
quick. Okay, so you can only pull 2 from 2 18s from 45, which is 36. 45 minus 36 would be 9. And due to the fact that we are dividing a decimal, you can simply just add a 0 here and then bring it down until you can finally get your answer. So 90, then 18 times. Okay, you can
There you go.
perfectly pull 5 18s from 90. 5, 0. So every person gets 1.5 pounds of turkey.
1.25.
Oh yeah, 1.25.
Okay, so originally they wanted them
They-
to get 1.5, and now they're going to get
1.5.
1 and 25 hundredths, or 1.25.
1.25.
And we need to calculate the percentage, right?
Yeah. Since the 1.5 is at the top, but since it's a decimal, we can just add a 0 here to do that. Since you can't take 5 away from 0, you have to do some carrying. 4, 10. And now you can easily do the math. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. Add the decimal. 1 minus 1, 0. So each person had their turkey reduced by 0.25.
Okay.
So the question is, by what percent is each person's serving reduced?
Oh.
So
So
we have
that's the amount. We need to now figure out what the percent is.
So we have to figure out what percent that is out of the original amount.
So remember percent change.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I know that you went over this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the
Well,
operation.
that's why you've got Cindy right there with you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to take values, new value, old value, divide by an old value, and then multiply by 100, and you're going to come up with your answer.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like new value.
So you found how much it changed by.
Yeah.
So that's, you subtract the two values, that goes here.
Yeah, so 0.25 minus,
Well,
Well,
that's
you-
actually, you already did the subtraction. You already did the subtraction.
oh,
Because it would have been the original amount minus the new amount is what you put here.
I thought it was new amount minus old amount.
Well, the subtraction still ends up as 0.25. It's just the positive or negative just tells you if it increased or decreased.
Okay,
So this would have been
was like
negative
negative.
and decrease because they're getting less food.
all right.
But as far as the percent goes, it's still going to come out the same way.
All
So
right.
then you're going to want to put your original amount down as your denominator. And are you guys doing it with proportions?
I
I
think
thought
it
I
was,
heard you say proportions. Is that what
Well,
you
you
said?
can, or what you can do is just divide that,
Yeah, you can just
and then
divide
you can
that.
just multiply it by 100, the decimal.
Oh, okay.
all right,
Comes out
so
the same.
0.25 divided by,
1.5.
okay. 0.5, 0.25. But since the decimal points are there, that makes it slightly more complicated. We have to move the decimal point 2 times until it's just,
Now think about where you have numbers. You're starting with 0.25 divided by 1.5.
5.
Let's say we had 12 divided by 4. Where would the 12 go?
12 would go, 12 can't go into 4.
No, but just think about it. If I want 12, if I do 12 divided by 4, can I do that?
No.
What's 12 divided by 4?
I'd say,
3.
yeah.
So you can do that, right?
Oh,
So
You're
I
thinking
think I
different
misheard
things.
you. I think I misheard you.
Right, so
You're
think
thinking
about
3
12,
divided by-
where the
So
12
the-
would go, because I
yeah.
think you've got the numbers reversed here.
Yeah, we need to put the numerator on the inside part when we do the division.
Oh, okay, so,
Be able to- No,
oh no.
there we go.
Okay, so it'd be 1.5
Because you're really dividing this by this,
Okay.
which is how you read this
Okay.
right here.
Since we have to move the decimal point to make things a little bit easier, you move that there, and you move it here. So the actual operation would be, can we
Just
scroll
do
down?
here. Yeah, just do here. It's fine.
All right,
I don't think this one scrolls the same way.
all right. Anyway, so it'd be 15 out of Okay, so you can't take it out of 0, so there's nothing there. I'm just not gonna add anything there. You can't take 15 out of 2 either, so let's just put a 0 there. But you can take a 15 out of 25, 1, 15, and then, oh wait, I wrote that wrong.
No, that's right.
25 minus 15, that's
Well, yeah,
10.
but 5 minus 5 is 0, and 2 minus 1 is 1.
Oh,
You just didn't put the 1 yet.
didn't realize. And since there's still a 10, you can't do remainders and,
Decimals.
decimals. So you just add a 0, bring it down, 0, and you can get 6 15s out of 100. 6, it equals 90. Then 10,
So we got 10 again.
then
Do you see a pattern now?
yeah, we're kind of going in a loop.
So
Do you know how
put
to
your
represent?
other 6 up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're going to multiply it by 100. So instead of multiplying by 100, something easier you could do is just move the decimal.
Yeah.
How many places would you move the decimal?
Since there's 2 zeros, you'd move it over here, so it'd be essentially 16.6.
Right. Now, it says express the decimal to the nearest hundredth. So what other number would be coming after that?
6.
Okay, and in order to round to the nearest hundredth, you need a place in the nearest thousandth. So what number would come after that?
6.
Okay, so now put another 6. Now round
Now
that
round it.
number to the nearest hundredth.
All right, so the 100th would just turn into a 7.
So you can just put equals and then put it next to it.
I think I'm just gonna erase. Thank you. 7.
And then it's a percentage, right? So let's put
Yeah,
our percent sign
percentage.
on there.
So therefore, if they stayed with the original amount of turkey with the 18 people, people are getting a negative, so put the negative symbol on there, 16.67%. So nicely done. So kind of a little bit of a lengthy problem right there and a lot
Yeah.
to think about and keep track of, but we had every confidence you could do that right there. All right. Hey, you know what? We'll be back with more right after this.
As a first-generation student, I am changing not just my future, I'm changing my family's future, and I'm truly honored to be a Fresno State student, to be a Bulldog.
Being a Bulldog means that I get to represent that Central Valley pride and the community that raised and educated me.
Just being here makes me feel welcomed, and it makes me feel represented and just loved.
We are unique here, uniquely Fresno, and nobody could emulate what we do here in the same way.
This campus is special. The students are special. The students that I have met, like that is so amazing that you chose Fresno State over all these UCs and these private universities because of the people that we have here. That's what makes Fresno State so special.
I'm standing on a 1,000-acre farm that is the crowning jewel of Fresno State. It produces the food that we all enjoy, but more than anything, it produces leaders. Fresno State represents opportunity to become the best version of yourself, and that's what we provide to our students here and every day.
The beauty of Fresno State is that it provides strong academics as well as research opportunities for undergraduate students. So once they graduate, they're able to go and work in big industries, and they're really successful.
The research I'm doing, it's working with 5 other students, trying to come up with the best design that we can to create an open source prosthetic. Fresno State's really good about creating opportunities for students. I kind of forget that this is not common when it comes to undergrad, so I'm pretty privileged to have an opportunity to do research, and if we can use our brains and what we're learning in school to apply and make something that helps people, I definitely want to do that and impact society like that.
I love Fresno State, and Sydney is a good example of that drive that is really what motivates me to work more with students and see them succeed. That's what really drives me to come and be here every day.
At Fresno State, professors saw us as a whole, and that is what I want to do here with my students. I want to make sure that they feel as welcome and safe and loved as I did when I was getting my education. Fresno State is one of the top 3 universities preparing teachers in California, and it is an honor to be one of those teachers and continue to serve my community. I came from the Valley, and I think that's very impactful because teachers who are going to come back to the Valley, they know the struggles that they faced when they were students, and now they have that empowerment to come back and be the change that they wanted to see when they were young. I wouldn't have been the teacher I am today if I wouldn't have had the guidance from my professors at Fresno State and the support. So I want to give that back. And I hope that one day one of my students can come back and tell me, you made a difference.
He has been dominated by lefties for most of the night, now facing a right-hander in this situation. Line to right, Detweiler's got it! Cinderella wins a national championship.
Fresno State has really been blessed with some outstanding former Bulldogs on the national scene, but many of our alumni stay in the Valley, and they're using all of those values that they got through their Bulldog experience to take into their family and in their businesses. And they will say, without my student-athlete experience at Fresno State, I would not be the person I am today. I think we're all looking for some joy, and we're looking for something to attach to bring us some excitement, something we can share with our families. And college athletics does that, and certainly Bulldog athletics does that.
40,000 plus people in a stadium all pulling on the same rope. There's nothing like that here in the Valley. It's something that's special and unique, and it's something that is ours.
To be a Bulldog, it's exciting. It's like wearing like a badge of honor.
I'm wearing the same uniform as 200 other people, and I'm that one little dot. But then again, there's 40,000 around, and together we are one giant part of this community.
Not only does that happen at games, but as staff, as faculty, we're cheering on our students so that they can also have their wins.
We're wearing red, and we all like each other, and in that day, there is no politics involved. Everybody loves the Bulldogs.
Fresno State is home. That sense of belonging, it never leaves. That sense of knowing that someone here poured into you and made it so that you could go out into the world and be your best, that's Fresno State.
And right up the road, Fresno State University. 636-4357 is the phone number. We have 6th grade student Clark Kent from Van Horn Elementary in studio with us, doing some great problems and a lot of food today. Talking with Rafael about the Blue Zones project, you doing turkey problems and stuff like that. But we had a phone call from Jesus, and Cindy is going to take care of that problem right now. So Cindy, take it away and help out Jesus.
Okay. So Jesus's problem is to find the slope, and he was given this table with X values and Y values. So I went ahead and I just graphed each point over here, and then as best I could drew a line. And no, it's not a great line, but. And so basically to find the slope, you're trying to figure out how steep the line is. So you can do it either from the table or from the graph. On the graph, what you would want to do is you would want to look from your different points. So if I have -2, 3 here, and then -1, 5 is next right here. Basically, if I look at it like if I went in straight movements, I'm going 1, 2, so I'm going 2 up, 2 units up, and then from there I'm going 1 to the right. And slope is always the change in Y, or what we call rise, over the change in X, so it's a fraction. So looking at my triangle, my change in Y vertically was 2, so it would be 2 for the numerator. And then my change in X is 1, so it would be 1 for the denominator. And I can go ahead and simplify that to just 2, so my slope is 2. From the table, how you can get the same thing is you're looking at how is Y changing. So it goes from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9 to 11, so it's going an increase of 2 each time. And then on the X side, it's going increase of 1 each time. And so my change in y is 2, and my change in x is 1. And again, I would write 2 over 1, and that equals 2. So that's how you get slope from a table or a graph.
All right, nicely done. Hopefully that helps out Jesus. Did you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because you're in 6th grade, you're going to be doing that in 7th grade. All right, so if it made a little bit of sense today, then you're way ahead of the game.
All right.
You feeling good?
Yes.
All right. So I've got a problem for you. You're going to have 1 minute to solve it. So make a clear board. Here we go. 75% of a number is 88. So 75% of some number is 88.
I think I messed up something.
So here, I'll write, and then you can help calculate.
Right, so 75% of a certain number is 88.
Is 88.
What is 3/8 of the number?
3/8 of the number.
I have 1 minute to solve this?
Yes.
Like the entire thing, or like just the 75%?
No, son, the entire thing.
We got it. So since this is a fraction, yeah?
We need to find 3/8 of something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if that's 3/4.
Do you know the fraction of that?
Yeah, just like 3/4.
Okay.
So 75 is 3/4.
So let's think of that as 3/4 of something is 88.
Okay.
Okay, so start with that.
Now
Go ahead and
there's
write that down.
3/4, so write down 3/4.
So
Does 3/4 equal 6/8?
So if you make
Yeah.
it the same denominator.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
just
we
multiply
know.
it by 2.
So think about it. 75% of the number is 88, which is really 6/8, right?
Yes.
We need to know 3/8 of the number.
So how does 3/8 compare to 6/8?
Well, you just minus 3/8.
Which is half of it, right?
Yeah, just half of it. So essentially just minus
So what's half of the number?
half of the 44.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, because if yeah, so because this is going to be half of that, so
Yeah.
this has to be half of that.
So I want you to make sure that this makes sense to you though, all right? Because I kind of got you through it pretty quickly there. So 75% is the same as 3/4. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And 3/4 is the same as 6/8.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we did 6/8 is because we need 3/8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we take 6/8 and compare it with 3/8, it's simply half.
Yeah.
And if 88 was our number, we just need half of that.
Ah.
Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of ways that you can do that mathematically, and it's going to take a long time to do it. But if you just kind of reason your way and think about it, hopefully that makes a little more sense.
Yes.
All right, good. Come on over here, young man. So now that you've done some great work today, you are now an ambassador for Do the Math. Do you know what that means?
It means like I have to like support Do the Math, like go outside and like, hey, you should watch Do the Math.
There you go, and you have a uniform for it.
Yes.
And you are gearing your career towards helping Do the Math. Because you remember the deal we made earlier?
Yes.
What's that deal?
Work at NASA, then come back here.
That's right. Now, because you are a pretty bright kid, you've seen these before, right?
Yes.
But did you know that there's a Do the Math Rubik's Cube?
Yes, I did notice that. I got one the other day.
Yeah, these are pretty cool, aren't they?
Yes, they
You
are.
a Rubik's Cube master?
Yes, I can solve it right now.
Oh, easy with that right now. I need to know one other thing. Did you learn a little something today?
Yes, I
Good.
did.
Did you have fun today?
Yes, I like that one cube puzzle thing.
Good. Well, I'm glad you like all that stuff. And you know what? Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, Edison International, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Kern High School District, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and Valley Strong Credit Union, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.